we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all. And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
LaChi.
LaChi?
LaChi.
Stop looking at yourself. I'm gonna have to edit that out.
Oh.
Put your eyes somewhere. make my work harder.
Damn, my bad. LaChi.
Put googly eyes on.
Dog, that's wild.
So, Our first topic, we got a handful right now. We're going to talk about LaRussell and Billboard. We're going to talk about Cyhi, the prince, who keeps dropping loosies. And then we're going to talk about Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
I got blacker at the end. So that's the order of our conversation today. So let's start with LaRussell. We're going to play a clip about him and his dispute with Billboard. It's not really a dispute, but like he does make a comment on it at one of his live events. And so let's hear him talk about that, and we'll go back and then discuss.
All right.
30,000 albums independently within my community. We was really excited because with 30,000 albums, we were supposed to chart, and I would have been like top 5 albums in, and I was like, man, we did it. And I get a call from a company called Luminate. Luminate works with Billboard. They decide who charts and how it goes, and we like, man, we sold 30,000 units. And they come back and they say, none of your units count. All that hard work you did, it's for you and your community to enjoy, but it don't count for what we do. And we like, well, why? And they said, well, you called some of your fans that bought albums, you did pop-up shows, you did live streams, and you set a goal and said you was gonna sell this much. That's incentivizing them to support you. And I said, so marketing and promoting. At first it was bothering me because it's like, man, we grind. What you talking about? Like, we really did. I broke records. I sold out for 20,000, 18,000, 11. What y'all talking about? Publicly, we the first people who ever made album sales transparent. You seen every sale live. Nobody, no other artist, the industry don't do it. And they said, nah, that don't count here. They game, they rules. And that's cool. It's like we're going to take our ball and we're going to do what we do over here. And I'm going to make y'all look culturally incompetent. It is what it is. At the end of the day, it's like, let come what may. And the fact that it happened to me, of all people, is like, I'm the one who going to go speak and go educate. All right, it's cool. Let me tell the people what's going on, though, and then y'all could talk to that. So it is what it is. We didn't chart, but we know what the fuck we did. Also,
yeah, let's give a air horn for LaRussell, because I'm about to say some stuff.
Me too.
That, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what Billboard thinks. Number one is fleeting to begin with, to have that accolade, that recognition. Number two, he made the comparison already, right? It doesn't bring the money that you need, or it doesn't bring the revenue that you think is going to bring it. And the third one, he made the point that we're making our own rules as independent artists. And so why play their game? Their game doesn't matter. And I know we're just starting to show off with this type of energy, but I'm here for it. After listening to this for at least the third or fourth time now, I now kind of understand LaRussell in a different way. I've been following him and keeping an eye on him since he was signed to Russ and worked with Russ a long time ago. And what I'm noticing is that LaRussell is carving out a path that is the least walked and the least traveled. And in my opinion, that is the new business. That is the business going forward, and people have not caught on to that.
Well, I think it's because most people miss that it's old business in the new age. Like, he talks about it all the time. I sold these units and things out the trunk. There's something, a mogul or entrepreneur like, whether it was Master P or any of the Cash Money, all of the older record companies, and when they were independent and starting, were selling their CDs out the trunk. It's why J. Cole is going across America doing that, because that feeling, especially when you're independent, is something that you cannot replicate or duplicate the interactions that you're getting.
Yeah, you're speaking to another interview that he did where he said, like, I think it was with Kev on Stage, right? That he's talked about, I am the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm replicating what the 90s did and the people in the 90s, experienced.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm actually connected to the people. Hand to hand, one to one. Not this living life through the digital space necessarily.
Yeah. It's really frustrating though, because it's almost like damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? I'm damned if I go to a record label and then lose not only my splits, but every little bit of who I am as an artist to quote unquote chart. But then when I don't, and I get it out of the mud, I don't meet your metrics.
But that's the thing, is that I don't feel as much as damned if I do, damned if I don't anymore. I used to. But the reason why I don't feel that way anymore is because it is much more empowering to stop playing their game.
Yeah.
I understand that, like, so I think what people have to consider, independent artists have to consider, is how fast do you want it? And if it's fast, it's probably not going to be quality. That's what she said.
Stop it, Aubrey.
And you got to be willing to, like, take your time. Those live performances are when we make the best connections with the audience.
True.
Right?
True.
Hand-to-hand sales. When people come up to me after a show and say, that was great, I really enjoyed that. Can I buy a t-shirt? Can I buy a couple stickers? Can I support you in the way that you need to be supported? Can I sign up for your email list? That is the tangible thing that you're trying to build up. Yeah. And you don't get that through the record label even today. You get fast food, right?
Yeah.
So you get a bunch of people coming through your fast food window, but they're not necessarily the ones that are going to buy the merch. You go big on TikTok, but they're not necessarily going to show up to that event and pull up for you. They're not going to spend their hard-earned dollars to go see you face to face. And I think LaRussell is proving that you don't need that old performative BS.
No, I will speak from the artist standpoint of like what it is you're trying to do, or what it is your expectation is in that way, or why it kind of pissed me off, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not even asking to quote unquote play by your rules in a certain way, right? I'm doing all my own marketing. Like, so if I'm doing all the things, I'm hitting all of these metrics, I do want that level of marketing accolade, if you will. So saying you charted on Billboard all the way independent is a huge marketing accolade, because I did. Even if you try to skew the number, like, that pushes me to a different audience. And whether it's like, the top 100 Billboard songs playing here or wherever, it gets me to a different audience because I have hit that metric. And I think that's the frustrating part about it, is like, yes, you are correct. We do need to do the homegrown things, and 30,000 sold is still 30,000 sold, especially if it's one-on-one, all interactions and everything that's going on. But like, not being able to add that Oscar or add that Tony or add that that bargaining marketing chip in my pocket is super frustrating. And I'm sick of the game, because it's like, it's just so limiting sometimes, is what it feels like as an independent artist, even as you're selling 30,000 is a lot, bruh, for an independent artist, no matter who you are. Like, even when Nipsey was getting 1,000 or whatever for Crenshaw, like, it means something to reach these heights. So it's just kind of frustrating to continuously meet these obstacles and these walls from these labels and stuff that you can't even figure out a way to sign into, to even see what your qualifications are, or what it is that I got to do to even qualify. Like,
But can I give you an analogy to why I think artists should be less frustrated about it?
yeah,
The analogy is, let's say you got a toothpaste, right? And this analogy is not perfect, but say it's, the toothpaste is 10 out of 10 dentists recommend this toothpaste for your health.
mm-hmm.
And they're with the American Dentists Association.
Okay,
And you go buy that because it's approved. That's what Billboard is. It's a group of people that say you're approved. What LaRussell is doing is Consumer Reports. It is the people are giving you that stamp of approval. And they're doing it by transacting those real dollars. Billboard don't pay you nothing. You got to pay them to chart. Because you got to buy the platform, you got to create a user ID, you got to use Chart Metric, which is $20 a month at the base. You know what I mean? You got to use all these tools that you pay up just to get a stamp of approval. You paying a membership to get all of that. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, and a membership that basically says you can only work out in one area.
Yeah, that's why I say it's performative,
Yeah.
right? We're getting mad about things that don't belong to us in the first place, that we got to pay to get into. Same thing with the Grammys, right?
Yeah. We'll see tonight. Same thing with these Oscars, but we'll see what they do.
But this has been 13 minutes. I know this video ain't going to be 13 minutes long. So I think we can move on to our next topic and talk about how Cyhi the Prince has been on a tear. He's recently released a couple more songs. I can't remember the one before this last one, but the last one was called Bouncing. Or something like that. Yeah. Bouncing. Yeah, Bouncing is what it's called. And Bouncing's a little bop. And so I hit Icarus Gray up and I was like, you think this man putting out an album yet? You think that's the way we going? So that's going to be the conversation, is what do you think Cyhi is up to?
Well, he's continuously talked about Mr. EGOT. So we're going to see that album finally come to fruition. It seems like he's intelligent enough to use all of the Kanye conversations, which is definitely good marketing. The J. Cole diss, which is also good marketing. And just exposing all of these different things about where I've been, where my pen is, like your favorite rapper, I've probably pinned their top record. And it's creating an expectation that I think he is intentionally setting up the stage for an amazing album release. But, we'll see. But that's kind of what I think. What do you think?
Well, he put out the story of Mr. EGOT, right?
Mm-hmm.
In 2022. What I was thinking first is EGOT aspirational, or is it something that he already has? I'm not finding any evidence that he has the EGOT status yet. So it sounds like it is more aspirational than anything. And so for me, I believe that he is gearing up for a project. I don't believe that these Lucy's are part of that project. Bouncing might be. Sounds like a single attempt. So Bouncing might be.
Could.
But I believe that he has something ready. He is now gaining the momentum he needs in order to put out that thing.
Yeah. And I also think with him, like, EGOT is not specific to Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. I think it's probably going to end up being something very metaphorical.
Is it another acronym, though?
I don't know, but I think he might have made one.
Wouldn't he have told us that on the story of EGOT?
Maybe. Unless, like, who was he talking about on story EGOT?
Speculation. Is it water on your knees? No, I was kidding. I can't remember the jingle. Operation, yeah. I'm the skeptic for you.
Wow.
Speculation.
Yeah, but that's my general speculation on that.
I'm gonna put that on the soundboard.
When we don't have the biggest line, we're gonna let y'all know. But yeah, I do think he's gearing up for something. I do think that, like, there's gonna be a bigger impact on what it is he's bringing out.
Yeah.
And I think it's gonna be a really dope album. I think this is gonna be a dope year for music once the artists start putting music out.
Is he on Bully?
I think he's
By Ye?
Oh man, okay. I don't know. I think he can't be bullied by anybody. I think this is more like he is being utterly strategic with everything that is going on around him.
What? Hold on. Did you hear my question?
Yeah, what do you mean? Like, wait.
Bully album.
Oh. I didn't even know that Ye had a name for this album. This is how much I do not pay attention to Ye whatsoever.
Yeah.
No. I think he wrote. I think he's always on a Kanye album. But will we see a feature?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Well, it keeps coming up in his lyrics that he is truly, because it was on Bouncing too, that he brought up again that, like, I still ain't got paid by the people that need to be paying me. So I don't think Ye has put him into that disgruntled category. Like, he's not mad at Ye. He's being paid by Ye, which is why he was caping for Ye, based on our conversation last week. I think that if you ever want to find out why somebody's caping for somebody, follow the money. I think he is on Bully.
Okay.
Vocally. I also believe that you are right that he wrote on it.
Yeah. So I don't know. That would be like a new side of Ye, showing some kind of loyalty to the people that are showing loyalty to him in that way. So yeah, I am excited to see what happens because I think no matter what, it'll be a great conversation either way.
Okay. Well, we're on to our last one. Jack Harlow. He says to New York Times podcast host, he says, I got blacker. We're going to listen to this segment about it so it's in full context, because currently the clip that people are seeing is cut a little bit shorter than what I think it should be cut. And so let's give it its full context. Let's play it really quick and then come back and have the discussion.
Can't talk to Jack Harlow without talking about race.
I would hope not.
I've had a version of this conversation with Post Malone,
Get our feet wet, like we were
Jelly
putting out
Roll.
mixtapes, so we were
MGK,
Pointing that bar out. That bar is
Young
cold
Lean.
work.
Came from me loving hip hop.
Eminem.
talked about it with Eminem.
Sure.
White rappers are afforded more freedom to change their genre at will. True or false?
I might have to think about that. What do you think?
No, you don't.
I think, yeah, definitely. I think there is something about being a white rapper that first puts the chip on your shoulder. And I think that that's why a lot of the people I just mentioned, maybe Post Malone especially aside, but yourself included, rapping your ass off is really important at the beginning. Like bars, like proving yourself, right?
Yes.
You could hear that in your early music.
Absolutely.
This kush here in the gas state. I can't hit it. If I do, I might pass away. These boys fake, please quit with the masquerade. Hey, shit I hear what the pastor saying.
And then you prove yourself, you break in, you're supported by all kinds of people. You've always had a diverse friend group. You grew
Black
up in a
people.
diverse place. You have a diverse team. You have a diverse fan base. You become accepted. And then you have, we're talking about privilege, you have the ability to say, I rapped my ass off. I'm not going to do that anymore, at least for now. And radio programmers, award shows, press, like people take you seriously if you do that. If a black rapper wants to do something completely sonically adventurous, it can often be treated as a whim or something to be ignored or a joke. That's my personal feeling.
You're framing it through the lens of intent. And I also think of it often through the lens of reception and landing places. Country music, for example, has become a safe landing place for former white rappers. Rock music has become a safe landing place. These are sort of pre-existing industry structures that welcome a famous person who got famous. I see the smile. It's great to see. I think I'd like to hear your answer to Joe's question, but also then talk about what I feel is like the radical twist of what you have chosen.
I was hoping that he would say that.
Sorry.
But you're giving him the answer, the good answer.
It's the right answer, but sorry. I'll shut up now.
What John's saying is you
What
didn't.
is your question?
You didn't retreat. I'll piggyback off what John's saying. John's saying you didn't retreat into a whiter genre. In fact, you arguably went deeper into
I got blacker.
Black music.
Yeah.
deeper into blackness.
Yeah.
So was that conscious? Was that a little twist on the typical move that white rappers make, which is to retreat back into traditionally white sounds?
It certainly made what I already wanted to do even more appealing. Absolutely.
Because you like pushing that boundary, that line?
I think I love black music. I love the sound of black
Who
music.
among us?
Yeah, I
it's
love
like-
the sound of black music.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm hyper aware of the politics of today, that safer landing spot that a lot of my white contemporaries have found. And of course, it appealed to me to do something that I felt like at a time when there's plenty of people expecting me to take some of the routes y'all are taking.
Yep.
To take the route that not only might not be expected, but is also the one I genuinely want to take. So all the stars aligned in that way for me, to be honest. I'm not going to pretend like what you're talking about, I was like, I guess you're right. I knew that there were multiple things appealing about this route, but I also came to the decision, I'm proud to say, off of what feels good in my ear. I love R&B music. I love the sound of soft, intimate, melodic music. So
Yeah.
I want to be understood. I want to write melodies that invite people to sing.
Okay.
Cool. What do you think?
I think it is disingenuous to actually you didn't necessarily go blacker. You just gave up on the competitiveness of what hip hop is, which is something that a lot of white rappers can do. So I feel real icky about it because no, you didn't necessarily get blacker just because you didn't go with country or rock. You just pivoted in a way that
You said pivoted?
pivoted.
Okay.
Pivoted?
Tivoted.
Pivoted?
That's what I heard.
You just pivoted in a way that you could have honed your craft. Like you didn't. It always makes me sick when it feels like, well, I got that one song that was really nice. Peace. Like that privilege is not something that most hip hop artists are even afforded, like they talked about. So you didn't get blacker. You just went to something that you went the Drake route. Like I feel like he had a conversation with Drake or something, and it's just like, well, just do this. Make something for the ladies. Do something for over here. Like don't deal with the rigmarole or the constant trying to prove yourself in hip hop. That's a little too tough for you. Go do something that's a little bit easier, but more approachable to the audience that you're trying to continue siphoning from. Like, I don't think he's a culture vulture in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but staying within the lanes of doing the things that he's doing, just, it don't feel good to me. But what do you think?
I'm going to talk while you fix your mic, because it's slumping.
Sorry.
I think that he is in a space where, I don't know. Number one, I think I Got Blacker deserved context, because it does feel cringe when he says that, but he is responding to what the host was trying to ask or what the host was lamenting about. Right? And so it still needs to go up a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
And so he is in a. I think he answered honestly in that moment, and although he is answering the question that is being asked, it is still sort of like a Freudian slip of I got blacker. And that means that you had to start by getting black to begin with. And my cringe comes from, or my issue comes from, why do you want to get black?
Yeah. Because it sells. Because again, our culture is the most profited on thing of the world, not just America or music.
I think you can like the music. I think you can appreciate it. I don't know that wearing the genre as a costume is appropriate.
I don't either.
And what I mean by that is, like, how's he dressed right now in this interview? And if you're watching on the YouTube, he has like this big chunky R&B turtleneck, and I get it, right? It's wintertime, right? He's dressed appropriately for the times, but I think he's dressed like he's about to go read poetry at a Barnes and Noble,
but also,
and drink some tea, which is leaning into the like black R&B aesthetic.
Yeah, but I also think he just kind of leans into that John B. bag of when he came in, which is like, I need to look like I know enough. And I know that once he hit like a certain level of when What's Poppin' came out, I was able to kind of see like people found that man attractive and so on and so forth. He was able to cartel that into the White Men Can't Jump remake. He was in a movie recently on Apple TV with Matthew Damon, like some heist movie where he gets like killed in the first part of the movie. And it's just like he is using his stardom and this fame to kind of do the different buckets while keeping his like John B-esque aesthetic.
But can you see how he went from I used to go to Supercuts to I now go to the shop in the hood?
Yes. And that's the part that I'm saying. Like it's a concerted effort that I think has always been like around. He just definitely leaned more into it around, like I said, what's popping, and once he grew his beard out.
But somebody has to be like on your shoulder, like you should go to the shop in the hood.
Probably DJ Drama.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, all his
Maybe.
like the only one I don't think he pushed.
You spend
in
enough
that way
time in
was, like,
Atlanta,
Astro
you
World.
just have to go to shop in the hood, right?
You got to go to Lennox. Got to. Got to go to Lennox Mall at least once.
Is that dated?
Probably, but it's 90s dated. Yeah, but I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
Okay. What puts you in the I don't like it space outside of what you've already stated?
It just doesn't feel authentic.
Okay.
Like, and I don't like how white rappers get to just quit when it's not working for you. Like, I don't like the Machine Gun Kelly thing. Like, I think Machine Gun Kelly was dope. I think he was really dope when he started.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just like, nah, it's never gonna happen for me. And here we go to rock.
You think he also like, I want to feed this audience, which is probably more women now?
Jack Harlow specifically, yes. I think that's the mode. It's just like that's who you were probably most of your fan base. And when he's kind of like the white the baby in that way. Like majority of your fan base is like women because of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you
and
or even like Kevin Gates. Like think about Kevin, appearance and even think about like Kevin Gates. Like there's a specific realm of artists. Like you started out, you was for everybody, you was for the streets, and then like you kind of switched with like Two Phones and others. I Don't Get Tired and all of these different things, satellites, where it was more to like this R&B female tailored crowd where people just like, whether they notice it or not, just took the Drake route, which is just give your female crowd what they need to keep supporting you. And it just makes me feel ick because it just makes me feel ick.
So that is where I feel the disruption is coming from.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that this move is not for, the move that the hosts are describing, all moves are for capitalism, right? It just depends on what market you want to extract from.
Facts.
So Post Malone can't hang as a rapper or an R&B singer. And so instead of extracting money from the black audience, he goes to extract money from where white audiences are living. Right? You sacrifice a little bit of your black audience in that scenario. Jack Harlow is wanting to extract more from the untapped black audience by white people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So like there's a pocket for it, so to speak. And there's a space for the white R&B guy that can come to the cookout.
And I also feel like he did a little PR shift early when he was like, well, what do you think? But if you had just said, I appreciate black music and therefore I like creating in that space, like, and give all of the, whether it's performative or whatever, just give the words where it's like, this is the genre that I feel most connected to. I do understand that I am a visitor here. Like all of those things we normally say, like I probably wouldn't feel ick about it. But like you said, when you're going like, I went blacker, like why though?
Yeah. And he does later on, to give him credit, he does later on say that I started recording in at Electric Lady, right? Which is Questlove, Soulquarians, right? Swolequarians. I almost did what you did. The Swolequarians.
Swolequarians.
And so he was like, this place is legendary. I only feel like I want to do R&B in this place, right? Because what I'm making right now in this room does not come off as receptive in this environment, which is fine if you get a different creative spark. I think you just got to leave it for now. It's fine if you get a different creative spark.
Yeah.
I believe that even though he is in that environment, even though he is accepted at the cookout, he is also in a space where he is capitalizing off of the black audience, and I don't know how much he is putting back into the culture. So it's extraction more than providing.
Which sucks. But what do y'all think? Is it bother you? Do you like it? Do you care? Let us know down in the comments. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you can know every time we go live. And we'll see you in the next piece. A 1 and a 2 and a peace.